Well, good greetings. My name is Reverend Nickie Tucker, and I am on the platform today. I'm co-minister at Unity of Mesa. Giving the lesson today is Reverend Nickie Golden, the other co-minister at Unity of Mesa. On the platform is Jean Arlotti. We have Jenn, Crandall on piano. We have Kirsten, Plambeck, who's singing. And if you just came in, our board member of the day is Erica Bowman. Together, we welcome you into spiritual community. We welcome you into the active presence of the Unity movement. Unity is a movement that's founded on consciousness, a consciousness of love, joy, and peace. It's a consciousness that begins in the heart of God, but from God's heart to your heart. God's heart to your heart and to your heart. We soon have a community of hearts beating as one, knowing that there's only love, joy, and peace for us to experience in our lifetime. One of the ways we affirm this truth is by saying there's only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good omnipotence. And I invite you to allow that truth to shimmer through your being just like it was fairy dust. There's only one presence and one power active in the universe and in your life, God the good omnipotence. Here at Unity of Mesa, we begin every gathering that we have by affirming a guiding statement, and to lead us in that guiding statement is Jean Arlotti.
Thank you for sharing your love and light with us today. Please know that your soul is welcome here. And to remind us of why we come together, let's share together our guiding statement. We are here to experience more of the fullness of who we truly are in order to transform the world. All are welcome here.
I now invite you to stand as you are able and join us in singing, I am alive with the Spirit of God. 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 I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. Oh, I am alive with the Spirit of God. 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 I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. I want you to look at somebody next to you, and I want you to say, and put your finger in there and say, you are alive with the Spirit of God. Let's go. You are alive with the Spirit of God. 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 You are alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. And we're affirming for the community that we, the Unity of Mesa, are alive with the Spirit of God. We are alive with the Spirit of God. We are alive with the Spirit of God. Oh, we are alive with the Spirit of God. We are alive with the Spirit of God. We are alive, y'all, alive in the Spirit of God. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Take a breath. We are so alive with the Spirit of God. And welcome Julie Treglone, our YFM Director, Youth and Family Ministries Director, and Katie.
All right. Katie is here to say our affirmation this morning, and we will have the words up in a minute.
I am a unique expression of God, perfect as I am.
Beautiful. One more time.
I am a unique expression of God, perfect as I am.
Thank you, Katie. And you know what happens next? Yes, we remember this week.
Well, we're going to bless our children as they go off to their program. We say, children, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. Happy. Yep, you can touch it or you can push the button. All right, the last Sunday of the month at Unity of Mesa we call Diversity Sunday because we take a look at other holy days and holidays that are going on around the world in different spiritual traditions and in our country. So the first one we look at is St. Francis Day. It's October 4th. St. Francis was born a very long time ago, sometime like 11 something. And anyway, he is very well known for being the patron saint of animals. And that's why we're having pet blessing next Sunday as part of the St. Francis celebration. But did you know he was the first to have a live nativity scene at Christmas time? There in 1223. There you go. Yom Kippur is the most holy day in the Jewish calendar. It's the Day of Atonement. Many prayers are said, special fasting is done, and blessing of the children. Like I said, it's the day of forgiveness, it's the Day of Atonement, it's the most holy day in the Jewish calendar. And then in the Jewish calendar, on October 17th at Shemini Atzeret, it's the day where they finish reading the Torah. They read the Torah over a course of the year, and the very next day, Simchat Torah, October 18th, they start all over again. October 20th celebrates the birth of the Bab. He was the teacher of Baha'u'llah, who founded the Baha'i faith. And also on the 20th is a Sikh holy day called the Installation of Scripture. There were 9 gurus in the Sikh tradition that were all human, and the 10th guru is considered to be this scripture. So the living scripture that we still use today to guide, for Sikhs use today to guide and to inspire them. Diwali is celebrated mostly by the Hindus, but also the Jains and the Sikhs on October 24th. It's a festival of light. These little lights, these little lamps are often lit in Hindu homes. There was once a NASA photograph of the country of India, and it said, this is what it looks like on Diwali. And it was just illuminated beyond belief, but that was debunked. But in their heart, they were burning like that. The Milvian Bridge Day is a Christian holiday that some people don't even talk about. It happened on what is now known as October 28th, when the Emperor Constantine said, if I win this battle on Milvian Bridge, I will declare Christianity the official religion of the Holy Roman Empire. And that's why Christianity is what it is today, because he won. Historic birthdays on your left. Is that right? Yes. On your left is Theodore Roosevelt. He is still the youngest person to assume the office of the presidency. He assumed it when he was 42 years old after President McKinley got shot and died. But he did turn out to be one of the most amazing presidents we have. He was quite a character. He founded the National Park System. He did all kinds of amazing things. He ran again for a second term, and then he had a term off, and he decided he didn't like the politics, so he was going to run again. And he was out in Minnesota campaigning when he himself was shot, but his life was saved because he had a 50-page speech in his pocket. The other birthday we're celebrating in October is John Lennon's. When he was 15 years old, he and his friend Paul McCartney formed a band. And then and I think within a year, they brought in George Harrison, who was 14 years old. And then a few years after that, they got a new drummer named Ringo Starr, and the rest is history. Amazing creativity. What a phenomenal soul. I started to look up songs he had written. It turns out that all my favorites are by Paul McCartney, but that's okay. He did write Yesterday. All my troubles seem so far away. In the United States, in the month of October, it's National Cryptocurrency Month. That's new. It's also LGBT History Month, which has only been new since 1984, when a teacher in Missouri decided that the history of this movement and the people who made equality more visible started. We have National Coming Out Day in October, and that's why it's named. But it's a great opportunity to honor those who made it okay to be themselves. October 2nd is National Custodians Day, and we are especially celebrating it at Unity of Mesa because we have a new cleaning team. Oh, thank you. Yes. The 12th is Farmers Day. We celebrate farmers all the time because they fill our belly. The 27th of October is Black Cat Day. Yeah, I have one. And the 31st is Halloween. Woo! So that's a look at different things that are going on in the world. And I hope that you have been in some way inspired to expand your thinking because of that glimpse of diversity. I believe all of us have a built-in compass to help us get to wherever we desire to go. Don't forget to trust that compass and refer to it often. For with that trusting will come the strength to bear whatever life deals you. Don't get led astray. Ask your heart for the truth, and it will come up with the answer and the good judgment to make the decisions you'll need to make. Love everyone, and don't question love's reception. Do the best you can. Live each day as it comes. We can't get ahead of ourselves anyway. Remember, just as you have questions now, somewhere inside you and down the road, there will be better answers and workable solutions. It takes patience and trust to get through life's changes when you're trying to reach goals, solve problems, and make dreams come true. Though at times it may seem more than you can take, I know you are strong, and you can handle whatever comes your way. Trust in yourself. That's a big deal.
I'm trying to tell you something about my life. Maybe give me insight between black and white. And the best thing you've ever done for me is to help me take my life less seriously. It's only life after all. Well, darkness has a hunger that's insatiable, and lightness has a call that's hard to hear. I wrap my fear around me like a blanket. I sail my ship of safety till I sank it. I'm crawling on your shore. crooked line. In the best I see my source for some divinity. Closer I am to find. Closer I am to find. I went to see a doctor of philosophy with a poster of Rasputin and a beard down to his knees. He never did marry or see a big great movie. He graded my performance. He said he could see through me. I spent 4 years prostrate through the higher mind. Got my paper and I was free. And I went to the doctor, I went to the mountains, I looked to the children, I drank from the fountain. Yeah, there's more than one answer to these questions, pointing me in a crooked line. And the less I seek my source for some divinity, closer I am to find it. Closer I am to find it. I stopped by a bar at 3 a.m. to seek solace in a bottle or possibly a friend. And when I woke up with a headache, like my head against the board, twice as cloudy as I was the night before, I went on seeking clarity. And I went to the doctor, I went to the mountains, I looked to the children, I drank from the fountain. Yeah, we go to the doctor, we go to the mountains, we look to the children, oh, we drank from the fountain. Yeah, we go to the Bible, we go through the workout, we read upon revival, we stand up for the lookout. There's more than one answer to these questions, pointing me in a crooked line. And unless I seek my source for some divinity, closer I am to find it. Closer I am to find it. Closer I am to find it.
Beautiful. Kirsten and Jenn. Yes. That song has such a powerful message that when we get willing to live in the unknown, when we get willing to stop seeking out there, but really look in here, then we get closer to source. It just happens automatically. And it happens automatically because ultimately we are it. We are source energy. But that's a very difficult thing for many people to not only try on, but live from. People think they're too audacious. They think they're being conceited to really claim the power that's within us that we are. And that's for a lot of reasons. I grew up Southern Baptist. And it was a difficult thing at times to really stand up and feel like I was who I was. And to be that in that community, and I don't mean any offense against that community, that's where I got my roots. And so sometimes I know you guys hear that Southern Baptist preacher come out at me, because it does come out at times. But that's where I got my roots. My grandmother was my Sunday school teacher. And so I lived it a lot. But what I began to determine over time was I outgrew that philosophy. It is a spiritual philosophy. Some people in the religion world call it doctrine. but it's a spiritual philosophy that I outgrew. And I began to find a new one that fit me better. And I'm thinking that if you are here, somehow you found a spiritual philosophy in unity that fits you better also. You came closer to find by being here. So take a moment and think about what brings you joy. What brings you joy? It's going to be unique to each of us. It's going to be different for all of us because we are unique, individualized expressions of the one. The one, and who is the one? Collectively, the one is us. And I want to talk about that for a little bit today. Michael Beckwith, a number of years ago, put forth what he called the levels of spiritual awareness. There's 4 of them. There's the to me, by me, through me, as me. But in unity metaphysics, that has been expanded, and I want to expound on that with you guys a little bit. I want to sort of walk through that. Levels of consciousness. The first one is the victim one. We call that the to me. The second one is the victor one. But one of the things I want you to remember is that in order to be a victor, there has to be a villain. So if you're in the victim, if you're in the victim, you're going to look for somebody to be your victor. And then eventually you're going to become a villain because you're going to say you're trying to control me. Do you know that pattern? Have you ever had that experience? Yeah. It's thought about as car. The vessel consciousness, and then there's verity consciousness, and I want to walk through those. So victim is to me, and I'm going to leave these up so you can see them. Do you ever have anybody say, I don't know why this is happening to me? I don't know why this is happening to me.
Oh yes, I've been there.
Yeah, I can imagine that most of us have been there. This is happening to me. This is a stage where we're not taking any responsibility for our lives. And it's a stage of development that we don't want to make wrong. We simply want to notice, oh, look, I'm in victim consciousness. And what do we do when we notice that? We can be mad at ourselves, and that's what many people do. We can judge ourselves, and that's what many people do. Or we could actually go, wow, how much fun could I have with victim consciousness? How much playfulness can I have? Because the moment we can play with it, we are no longer in the grip of it. And the easiest thing to do is love ourselves as much as we can when we notice that we're in the to me stage. This is where so often people will say, I don't know why he did this. If he would just not do this, I would be okay. So all our responsibility, we're placing outside of ourselves. We're giving to somebody else. We're giving our power to somebody else. And what will most people do? Yes, they will take it. They'll take it. I mean, really, if somebody's got their buttons out there, I'm going to push them. Most people will push them. And then the victim's like, I don't know why you're being so, and we do that. But most often, we've been judged for doing that. And if we have that hero who's going to come in and save us from our victimhood. They're going to save us from that victimhood. Da-da-da-da! Try it on. Da-da-da-da! Yeah, I can help. I can help you. If you just do this, if you just do this, if you just do this, then you won't be the victim anymore. And what do you think the victim usually does? Somebody said nothing. Yes, they either do nothing or eventually you're trying to control me. Yeah, so the victim moves to the villain spot. And when we move to the villain spot, the hero's like moves to usually the victim spot. I was only trying to help. I don't understand why you're mad at me. I was really only trying to help. So then they go from victim and put a foot in villain. So we get to play a lot. We get to move around the triangle. And there's actually nothing wrong with the triangle. It can be quite happy. You know, you can have a victim tea party. And everybody comes and they sits around and they drink tea. I don't know why this is happening to me. And you can eventually get to the place where everything is hysterically funny. And when you have gotten to that place, you are moving beyond that. The second stage is by me. And many of us know this. And for me, the by me stages means that I'm beginning to recognize that I have some power within me. I'm beginning to recognize that my thoughts are creative. I'm beginning to recognize that there is something in me that can make a difference in the world. So most people begin with parking spaces. Let me start envisioning a parking space that is exactly where I want it to be. And so when we're young, we do them close up. When we get older, we do them farther away so we get our exercise. But we begin to realize that we can impact our world. And that takes the edge off that victimhood. But again, when we are in the by me stage, we often still call in somebody so that we can have power over them. It's an interesting thing as human beings to do. Wow, this is to be done by me. But if it's to be done by me, it needs to be done the way I want it to be done. Yeah, you guys are recognizing this. If it's to be done by me, it's to be done the way I want it to be. But what happens when you have some powerful people who are beginning to discover their power? Because remember, when we start to discover our power, what happens is we start to really use it everywhere. Not only do we begin to create the parking space, we begin to create the house, we begin to set some goals, we begin to say, oh, I can do this. And it is exciting. And it is a stage of spiritual awareness, our development of our spiritual awareness. And it's a wonderful stage. And it begins to be a dance at times. And then we move into the vessel period of our lives. I would walk across the floor, but we got some technical difficulties. And if I start moving, see, you have more. Our camera person's going to have to chase me. So you have to just use your imagination. So the vessel is through me, as me. And this is where unity metaphysics changes from Michael Beckwith's ideology. Michael Beckwith separates these two. But in unity, we talk about through me and as me. I think about the through me stage as sort of the garden hose stage. When I turn the water on, the faucet that the garden hose is connected to, the water goes through the garden hose and I can spray it out. That's the through me. That's where I'm learning to, as Eric Butterworth says, let go and let God. Well, what am I letting go of? I'm letting go of that I'm going to control the world situation. I'm recognizing that if I relax a little bit and I hold space in a particular level of consciousness, then what flows through me is going to flow through me in a much easier manner. And probably, if I'm not hanging on to something, trying to make it happen my way, it's going to happen in a lot smoother way. I'm going to bring a different level of consciousness to it. The as me part has something to do with trying on a role. It's like a persona in a lot of ways. As me, we talk about God in, through, and as me. Well, I can try on a costume, like I can go as Tigger to a Halloween party, and I'm there as Tigger, but it's not the truth of me. Can you see the difference? I'm there as Tigger. I can bounce around and say, ta-ta for now, and all of that, but it's not the truth of me. I haven't yet stepped into the fullness of me when I'm in the as me, the through me, as me stage. Now, I know that in meditation, I know that in speaking, I know that in a lot of areas of my life, if I would just get my personality out of the way, and remember, personality in unity is the sum total of all our beliefs and our ideas and our thoughts and our feelings. And we bring those together exactly where we are. We cannot out demonstrate our consciousness where we are. So we bring those together. And so what I'm trying to do is to recognize that, oh, I'm in my personality, and begin to step into what in unity we talk about as our individuality. I'm trying to step into the truth of me, not just let it flow through me, but truly take that step and own the it's me. But this is the hardest step to take between through me, as me, into it's me. It's a difficult step, because what happens is that part of us that is our personality starts to say, oh, you're getting too big for your britches. The part of our personality says your ego is involved. The part of our personality begins to do the chatter, the mind chatter. I'm thinking you guys have it, because I'm seeing some nods. It begins to do that mind chatter to tell us that we're standing too much in our power. And then what happens is, as soon as it happens within us, it's going to be showing up out there to reflect what's in us out there. It's going to be showing up to have somebody come and say, well, I want to tell you, I want to be nice about it, but I want to tell you, you're getting too big for your britches. You're overstepping your power. You're beginning to do da-da-da. So we move through these stages in an interesting way. But I want to give you one more example about as me. I could come to the piano, I could go on the other side, and I could play the middle C. And you guys know that note, the middle C note. And we would hear this beautiful sound that is middle C. It's the C sound. It's a certain frequency. But that sound is not the piano. The sound of C, the sound of A, the sound of B, all of the notes of the piano are sounded. They're the effect of someone touching the keys and pushing them down in a certain way. But they are not the actual piano. They're the effect that the piano makes. And so when we can really understand that as me, I can be expressing infinite love, but until I step into it's me, I'm still a step away. I'm still a step away from our full divinity. And that's what we're called to be, is really truly stand in our full divinity. And that is what in unity we talk about as verity consciousness. It's me. I am. Do you recognize that? I am. Say it with me. I am. And we talk about some of the most powerful words that we put after I am. That I am are those powerful words, and whatever words we put after it also hold that power. But we have to be willing to step into that level of consciousness in order to stand in that consciousness. Because what consciousness we're in radiates outward. What consciousness we're willing to embrace makes a difference in how we live life. When we're in the to me stage, it's going to be much more difficult to feel joy, because our power is somewhere else. We're giving it away, and somebody else is holding it. It's almost like we're a puppet in some ways, and somebody else is controlling it for us. But when we're willing to stand in the it's me, what we're doing is we're standing in the capital T, the absolute truth of us. We're standing there. And so when we move forward from that consciousness, then we are moving forward with all of the capacities of God that are within us, being in full expression, or being on their way to full expression. It's a powerful place to be. And sometimes standing in that level of consciousness and that level of power can be very scary. It can be very scary. What if I make a mistake? Then I've moved back to a different level of consciousness. Now, one thing to remember is that we're moving through these levels or these stages of consciousness all the time, and none of them are wrong. But our calling as being of divine in nature is to recognize which one we're in. Think about a conversation you've had with somebody who's in the to me stage. We don't want to judge them, but if we can recognize, oh, they're in the to me stage, okay, then we can stand fully in the it's me stage and live principle and be the love that we are. That doesn't mean that we accept anything, behavior that they put out, but we can stand and see through that to me stage and see that within that to me stage, way deep inside each of us, is love, is power, is our divinity. And it may take some work, and with some people it takes a little bit more work than others. We can do that. This is when Charles Fillmore is saying, all we ever have to do is hold the vision of love for another person. And that love will radiate out from me and call that person up into that vibration. And if the person's not willing to be called up into that vibration, typically they'll oscillate out, they'll move out. You'll find that you're not necessarily encountering them anymore. And it's a fascinating game to play in the universe, because when I'm in the to me stage and I'm in that place where I'm just feeling really angry because this is happening to me, and I can't believe it's happening to me, and I don't like it, and I'm in that vibration, I usually bring whatever, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, whether it's fear, I bring that vibration to me. And so this is the power of the universe. Because we are one in the unified field, that vibration is going to come to me, and it's going to come, and it's going to come, and it's going to come until I begin to recognize, oh, I'm actually calling it in. I'm calling it in. And what do I need to do? I just need to recognize I'm the one calling it in. Take responsibility, being able to respond to what I'm seeing out there. Oh, look at me, I'm calling this in. I can do it and be mad, or I can do it and be, oh, well, this is what I've done. Oops. And I can laugh at it, and then I can make a shift. And I can start up the ladder. Now, for some people, they can go from victim to verity in this quick. Not me. I'm not there yet. One day, maybe. But then I'm going to start being by me. Well, what do I have power over? What can I control? How can I respond to this? And begin to ask those questions. And then I can begin to open up and move into the vessel stage and think, I'm going to let the life force energy, the wisdom, the love, I'm going to let spiritual intelligence, I'm going to let joy flow through me. And that's going to change the consciousness. And then eventually I can really realize, I'm actually the joy of life already. And so what happens outside of me does not have to impact me. If I let it, I'm going to move back into vessel or victor, or maybe even all the way back to victim, So I'm going to play with these. But the point is choice, but choice begins with awareness. I have to know where I am in order to make a different choice. I have to know the stage. And if I can know that stage or that level of awareness without judging myself, without judging somebody else, just, that's where I am. It's kind of like today is Sunday, or I sure do like Starbucks. It's like we say those things with so little energy on them. But if I put that emotional energy on it, then I'm already hooked and I'm moving down the ladder of these stages. But if I can just go, oh, look at this. Oh, look at me. I'm playing victim right now. I could actually have fun with it. And I could say to the person I'm talking to, if I have some agreements, hey, we play victim with me. And we can have fun with it until the shift begins to make inside of us. And then something different can occur. But nothing can occur until we begin to have the awareness of where we are and to begin to make a different choice. Now, this is beautiful work, and this idea, the levels of consciousness, come out of heart-centered metaphysics. But I want to give you a Bible quote from the writer of the Gospel of Matthew that says, in a word, what I'm saying, this is Jesus speaking, this is at the beginning of the Sermon on the Mount. In a word, what I'm saying is, grow up. Grow up. We're being called to grow up. We're being called to stand in verity consciousness as much as we can. Grow up. You're kingdom subjects. What does that mean? You have all of the capacities of God within you, because the kingdom of heaven is really the consciousness of heaven, and it's already there. But when I'm in victim consciousness, when I'm in victor consciousness, I'm not expressing it fully. We're simply being called to move on up the ladder to verity consciousness. Your kingdom subjects now live like it. Live like we are it. Live like we are fully divine and fully human. That's what we're being called to. Live like it. Live out your God-created identity. And this is what Jesus said. These are just in more modern words. Live generously and graciously toward others. Have you ever had an experience where you knew you'd made a mistake and you owned the mistake, and the person said, oh, that's okay. I'm offering you grace. They're gracious with you. Remember how that feels? It makes a difference. And it's a very different experience than when somebody comes to you and you say, I'm sorry, I made this mistake. And somebody says, like, what's wrong with you? It's a very different experience. Principle just is. God is. I am. So God is and we are. There is no judgment in God in any shape or form, and even any little degree. There's no judgment. So what we're invited to do is live from that no judgment place. And it starts with us. But we cannot get there until we move up the ladder to really hold on to the consciousness of it's me, to really stand in verity consciousness. And then we're living with each other the way God lives toward us. I want you to listen to this. I know I broke it up and talked about it, but I want you to listen to this. In a word, and remember, these are the words of Jesus. In a word, what I'm saying is grow up. Your kingdom subjects now. Live like it. Live out your God-created identity. Live generously and graciously toward others the way God lives toward you. Time after time after time in the Bible, Jesus says, the Father and I are one. God and I are one. This is our oneness. And in order to really, truly live in our oneness with each other, we must, and I don't like to use that word much, but we must come up to being the full expression of the divine that we are, which means that we have to recognize that we are it and begin to live from that place. We are it, and we begin to live from that place. Paul Hasselbeck, who wrote Heart-Centered Metaphysics, many of you know him, he's been here. As we expand our own awareness, we change our experience of the world and may change our outer lives and circumstances. When we change our awareness, we change our experience, because we cannot see the world in any different place than where we are in consciousness. So when I'm in victim consciousness, then that's how I'm going to see the world. And when I can love myself and I can play with that, then I'm going to have an easier time of moving forward from that and moving up that ladder of the levels of consciousness. I'm going to have a much easier time, because if I'm if I'm entrenched in it, then I'm going to be in resistance. But when I'm in verity consciousness, and even when I'm in vessel consciousness, there's so much less resistance that it's easy to see what's all around us. There was a woman who lived a long time ago, and she was in another country, and she was living in a poor village, and she didn't have a whole lot of money, but she wanted to get on a ship, and she wanted to move from the country she was in to another country. The ticket was a certain price, and she worked hard to be able to come up with that money, and she did. She came up with that money, and she packed as much food as she could with her in a basket, and she came on the ship, and she stayed in her room the entire time. And when she got, and she ate, and she spent a lot of time, because it was a long passage of a couple of weeks, and she spent a lot of time, and she ate the best she could, but she basically fasted for the most of the time that she was on that ship. And in that process of being there, she lost a lot of weight. She did not interact with other people. And when she got off the ship and she was talking to somebody, they asked her, "Why did we never see you in the dining room?" And she said, "I couldn't come into the dining room and eat." And the person who was talking to her said, "Yes, you could. Your ticket included all the meals." This is how we are when we are in victim consciousness. Our ticket here includes all the goodness that we can receive, all the joy that we can receive, all the abundance that we can receive. That's included in the price of admission to planet Earth. It's already within us. We have to be able to recognize it. We have to be able to not only recognize it, but we have to be able to step into it and to receive it. To receive it, to open our arms and receive it. That's how we begin to move up the ladder, to open our arms to receive the love that's present for us, to shift our consciousness, to move through the levels, to open our arms and receive the abundance. Emily Cady says this: realization of our oneness with God, that's the verity level of consciousness. Realization with our oneness of God assures us of our ability to meet challenging conditions with the full knowledge that we have the spiritual resources to handle them. Verity consciousness. That's what she's talking about. Is that something you're interested in?
Yeah.
Yes. Is that a way that you want to live? To be kingdom or queendom, if you want, subjects, to live in the consciousness of God, to be able to interact with each other as the divine beings we are. This is a community that does this very well. If that's of interest to you, let's play a little bit. We're going to say this a couple of different times. I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to ask you to read it with me. I am the activity of God. I am the activity of life. I am the activity of love. I am the activity of wisdom. I am the activity of health. I am. And the way I want us to do it is to slow that down and to take it in. And after you say, I am, let's take a breath. And then after you say, I am the activity of God, let's take a breath. So between each statement, Let's take a breath and let it sink in. Are you ready? Yes. Together, I am. And then take a breath. Let it reverberate. I am the activity of God. I am the activity of life. I am the activity of love. I am the activity of wisdom. I am the activity of health. I am. Now let's say it again with a beat. I am. I am the activity of God. I am the activity of life. I am the activity of love. I am the activity of wisdom. I am the activity of health. I am. Can you feel it? Yes, that's who you are. You are the activity of God. We are the activity of God. We are the activity of life. We are the activity of love. We are the activity of wisdom. We are the activity of health. We are. And if you're experiencing something other than any of those things, dip in to that place within you that is truly the point of power for you, the recognition of your divinity, and then stand in that consciousness and allow that consciousness to be what radiates forth from you as you, because you are it. Kirsten's going to come and we're going to sing Flow, Spirit, flow through me. And I know this is vessel consciousness, but allow that spirit of life, of love, of the divine to flow through you. And then we'll step in meditation to verity consciousness.
Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to see an expression, Son, you're in love. Through Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression, sign of your unfolding love. Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be the I am that I am. As I open up to be the activity of love. And as I stand in the consciousness of knowing that I am love, that I am light, that I am wisdom, that I am peace, that I am joy, that I am abundance. This is who I am. This is who you are. This is who we are collectively as we come together. This is who we are called to be. No one and nothing is against us. We are called to be verity consciousness on that planet, to be the subject, to be the cause, to create the effect by being peace, to create the effect by being love, to create the effect by being abundance, to create the effect by being health. This is who we are called to be. We don't have to compare ourselves to another, because we all have our own curriculum in this. Recognize the support of each other as we do the things that we are called to be. If it's to be, it's up to me. Say that quietly in your mind. If it's to be, it's up to me. I am. And let's take these words into a time of sacred and holy silence. Bring your awareness and your attention back to your heart. And I would even invite you to place your hands on your heart like prayer hands, because when our thumbs touch that heart chakra, it opens up even further. And as it opens up further, receive the love that is yours simply for being. Receive your own love. Know that you are worthy of your love and begin to embrace it. I am love. I am love. You are love. We are love. And in being love, being our truth, standing in our true nature, standing in our divinity, our source energy, our spiritual energy, whatever is your word for it, we make a difference in the world, because that's what we're radiating. Then we are truly the light of the world. I am love. You are love. We are love. We are it. We are principle. We are divine. We are spirit. We are source energy. And allow yourself to begin to come back to this room, to this time, to this place, standing in a new consciousness, standing in verity consciousness on this day, knowing that you're going to cycle, but as you cycle, love yourself for it. Find a friend who's willing to play with you, who's willing to stand with you in your doubt, to stand with you when you get into your personality. And ask them, will you witness me saying I am divine, so I can come back into that level of divinity with an open heart and an open mind, and receive their words when they repeat back to you, yes, you are divine. And then you can switch. So I'm going to say it to you, and I'm going to invite you to say it back to me. I am divine.
I am divine.
Yeah. So now you say it. I am divine.
I am divine.
Yes, you are divine. Say it again. I am divine.
I am divine.
Yes, you are divine. Yes, you are divine. So turn to somebody and say, I am divine. And have them say to you, yes, you are divine. Can you feel the joy in the room? Can you feel it? Can you see how we've uplifted our spirit and that begins to weave together in community? This is how we change the world. And you're doing it one I am divine at a time.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you. I know at the beginning, yes. I know at the beginning of Reverend Nickie's talk, she asked, what brings you joy? And one of the things that really brings me joy is being in this community and being part of this community and the connections that I have with individuals, the connections that I see growing between individuals. That's what brings me joy. And this community thrives on abundance. And so there are many ways to give within this community because we are the change makers. So let's look at the different ways you can actually put a check in the mail. You can actually go online to our website and you can go to the Vanco app and donate that way. If you are making a donation today, there are red buckets. There's one there. There's one in the back foyer, and then there's one over here as well. So you can just put your donation in there. And we are so grateful for the abundance that goes on in this church. You also have an option to text. We're getting tech savvy here, y'all. And then I just want to put another little plug in before we bless our monies, our donations. Last week, our youth program did an amazing car wash, and I hope you saw the pictures that came out in the blast. And we thank everybody that participated, got their car wash, contributed. But if you did not get a chance to contribute to our youth ministry, you can actually go online on our website. And if you scroll down, you'll see Youth Wash Car Wash. So you can still give to them as well, because that supports their spiritual growth and opportunities to connect with like-minded other children, YOUs, uniteens, to be able to have those experiences. So let us bless the monies and the love that are all given within this abundant church. Say it with me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we give thanks for the gifts and especially for the givers.
There's a wolf that preys on a world that strays so far from the garden. And just like your own, every heart you know seems cold and hardened. You may not have the stage, but you still have the voice. You may not have the strength, but if you have the choice, I dare you to love. Oh, worst, even if you think it's not enough. Oh, I dare you to love. We're all full of hope, trying to stay afloat, trying to save one another. People let you down cause they don't know how to stay above the water. When they're too broken to know what they put you through, but do the only thing that you'd want done to you. Why dare you to love? Oh, I dare you to love. Even if you're hurt and you can only see the worst, even if you think it's not enough, oh, I dare you to love. Oh, dare you to love. You may have the stage, but you still have a voice. You may have the strength, but if you have a choice, I dare you to love. Oh, I dare you to love. If you're hurt and you can only see the worst, even if you think it's not enough, oh, I dare you to love. Oh, I dare you to love.
And I double dig dog you. Dare you love. Okay.
So today we have a town hall meeting. It's a wonderful opportunity. Please stick around and join us after church. It's a town hall meeting where the church leadership can go over programming and finances and give us an update on how this church is evolving in a beautiful way.
Yep, 45 minutes, right? It's top to bottom. Okay, next Sunday, pet blessing. Bring a picture of your pet if your pet does not travel well. Bring your pet on a leash or in a crate. And I know it's going to be pandemonium, but it's going to be the best kind of pandemonium. And if you're bringing a snake, bring it to me. Because if you bring it to Nickie, we will never see her again. At 11:30, next Sunday, after our guest speaker. Woo! Okay.
And on October 10th, we have another opportunity for community service at Feed My Starving Children, where for 2 hours we'll put together meals to help hungry children around the world. Sue King is our contact person for that. Is she here today?
I think she took the Sunday off.
Okay.
She's watching online, yes. Mm-hmm.
But you can sign up for that back at the info table in the back or online. So hope you can join us.
We have a plethora of events happening in October. We have a new yoga class that's taught by Steve Swagger starting on Fridays. We have an interfaith dinner. We have a new members class. We have a class that I am teaching called Prosperity's 10 Commandments. All of that and more on the website and in the weekly email. Stay tuned.
So you can get all the details and dates and times and more on our Things for You to Know page on our website, unityofmesa.org.
Yes, you can. All right, the last thing we want you to know is that our bookstore today is closed for 2 reasons. One, it's inventory, so how convenient that the technology is not working in there, because that's, the reason. Hold Unity of Mesa's technology in prayer. Put it right up there so it is expressing as There's a prayer link on our website. But today, in person, if you are here in the building, please avail yourself. Make them work really hard. They're planning to be here until about 5 today. I'm kidding. There's also hospitality in the community room, family room area, and soon we will have hospitality out here. But most of all, thank you for your presence today. Your presence makes a difference. Your presence makes a difference whether you are in the room or whether you are watching online. You are a part of Unity of Mesa, and don't you ever forget it. Yeah. Let's say our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is.